Kanishk, let me move over to the next point. And I don't think we've had any tour in recent memory where a person who's not even played a ball has been talked about so much in the lead up to the tour, during the tour. Finally, it's the moment when Rohit Sharma will play tomorrow. And I just want to ask you, we did one session, if you recall, when the squad was announced. Rohit Sharma dominated that discussion. Rohit Sharma has dominated the discussion ever since. So what do you think? Should he walk straight into the Test 11? Now, of course he has. That's a different matter. But I'm asking you, should he walk? And where should he bat? I mean, as in, who should he replace?
Look, I think if KL Rahul was still available, then I believe that question had a lot more meaning to it. That whether it's Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul, but since KL is no longer an option and he's probably already on his way to India, there's no doubt that we need to have Rohit Sharma in the playing 11. All the discussion of, when was the last time he played red ball cricket, he just doesn't hold anymore. We need to have Rohit Sharma in the playing 11, and that's it. Where should he bat? I think it's about time. He gets, one position where he's made to play, at least for the next 4, 5, 6 matches. He has been shifting, his positions. I mean, the team has demanded that from him, and he is done that. But I think it's about time that he gets a chance at the opening slot, and the kind of player that he is. I think that trial by fire, but a player of his stature doesn't deserve anything less.
Okay, so I think he's done well in the opening position also.
Yeah.
So I think it's unfair to him to ask him to, it's only injury to him that, meant Prithvi Shaw played in New Zealand. Otherwise, he was the first choice opener.
Yeah, injury in New Zealand, as well as injury just before the Australian tour. Absolutely. Otherwise, I mean, something for selectors or the team management to answer. But I believe that he should have been the first choice to open. Sure. even in the test. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe he finds success like Virendra Sehwag. Let me talk about Rohit with Sudeep. Sudeep, what is your take on this particular matter? Of course, we've talked about Rohit Sharma so much, and Rohit Sharma is this colossal, absolute legend. He's already a legend in one-day cricket. Let's all accept it. I mean, three double centuries, 5 centuries in a single World Cup. Those things, only legends do. But when it comes to Test matches, he's struggled. He's been shuffled around. The only 2 slots, you've got an opening slot or number 6, right? So what's your take on this matter, Sudeep?
Like a player of the stature of Rohit Sharma straight away walks into the team.
Okay.
The impact that he makes, and even the psychological impact on the opposition, is immense.
Okay.
Like even in the Australian media, they have been writing a lot about Rohit Sharma since he's going to play the 3rd Test, and he has been offered vice captaincy straight away.
Yeah, offered vice captain straight away.
Right. So, but looking at the position, I would think I would look at the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Okay.
How to retain it first, and probably like Shubman Gill already has shown that the way he can bat at the top of the order, getting Rohit Sharma, partner him at the opening slot, 2 aggressive batsmen, and if say India batting first, the pitch is doing something in the first session, Rohit Sharma getting out, that gives a lot of mental advantage to the opposition.
To the Aussies, yeah.
Probably, I don't mind if Hanuma Vihari, as he did in the last tour in Melbourne, is called to do the job. And like if he even scores 20-25 in 60, 70 balls, I guess that will do the job. And Rohit Sharma still in the shed, it will have a lot of impact on the bowling attack.
So in fact, Hanuma Vihari has done this role on an overseas tour, if I'm not mistaken. Was it one of the I think Australia. I think he did something
Yeah,
in Australia. MCG, exactly.
Yeah, last tour MCG.
Exactly. So, and Hanuma Vihari has that kind of technique and temperament to do what, traditionally, for example, somebody like Akash Chopra did way back in 2004, just hold one end up. Sanjay Bangar doing it. So, that kind of a role. Yeah, that's a fresh perspective, Sudeep. Thank you so much. Let me hop over to Anuradha and ask what is her take on this one.
Okay, so your question is now moot. Should he walk in?
Should he walk in, and at what slot if he walks in?
Okay, so I am with Kanishk here when he says that had Rahul been there, I would want Rahul and Gill to open and probably bring Rohit after Rahane. Okay, but one thing for sure, should he walk in? We don't know how good he is, but we trust our captain when he says that he's been doing very well in the net sessions. Rohit Sharma has been doing very well in the net sessions. He's been practicing a lot. That's what Rahane says. We trust him. And one thing for sure, had it been a completely fully packed stadium, Rohit Sharma walking into open, the road that he would have got at the stadium anywhere in the world, given what we have been, I mean, as you said, we've been talking about him. He's one non-playing player we have been talking about so much.
Exactly.
I think he gives an immense boost. There's a psychological boost. Definitely fans feel that. Most fans feel that Rohit Sharma on the ground helps India. I think that psychological boost, if that is in the, in the team as well, it will help. Rohit Sharma definitely needs to bat and definitely needs to, I agree with Kanish, he needs to play a few. So opening, yes, he should play a few matches.
Okay. I think the last time we talked about a player who was not playing, if I recall in Indian, this thing, it's Mahendra Singh Dhoni when he chose not to play, or when Tendulkar was, there was this tennis elbow once, and then there was a shoulder injury another time. So, I don't think, otherwise we talk about people who are not playing that much. Great people. I think, so Rohit Sharma does walk in then. Let's talk about the other player. Let's talk about the opposition. I will talk to Sudeep first this time. Let me come to you, Sudeep, and ask you straight away. What do we make of Steve Smith? What can we expect from him? We've seen him fail on 4, let's say 2 test matches. It's not just these failures. He also failed in the last series against New Zealand when Neil Wagner got him out multiple times. Yeah. So what do you expect him to do? I mean, we were expecting him to come back into form, really roar back into form in Melbourne. That was his ground. It did not. Ashwin has had a wood on him. So what do you think will happen in this one? I mean, I'm asking you to predict, does he roar back into form in this match? And if that happens, then God help India. But or will the Indian bowlers continue to deprive him of run scoring opportunities and thereby take his wicket because he gets restless if he doesn't score runs? What do you think?
Well, it has been a quite interesting, scenario, seeing Steve Smith bat against Neil Wagner and then Jofra Archer and the English bowling attack, who have been attacking, his body line, leg stump centric attack, and the way he had been trying to respond to that line of attack. And he was expecting same sort of thing from Indian bowling attack. Before the start of the series, he mentioned that I'm ready for the bouncers from Bumrah and company, but it didn't happen. But same kind of thing, same line of attack has been deployed by Ashwin. So it has been quite interesting take, like the way he approaches his batting, his movement towards the off stump and inviting the bowlers to bowl at his stumps, and then he uses the leg side field where there used to be 3 or 4 fielders and a lot of gaps to accumulate his runs. And when that leg side has been blocked, it will be really interesting how he responds to this, because
Absolutely.
till now he has not been able to find out a theory to
find a way.
pierce this strategy. And well, it will be really interesting, and I look forward to, like, even Justin Langer said that Steve Smith is his own coach.
He's his own coach.
So
I read that.
He has to find a way out of his technique. no one else can do. And one of the newcomers is going to join the bowling attack tomorrow, right, from the Indian side. Whether it is Natarajan or Saini, has the decision already been made? I'm not sure.
I
I
think
think Saini has been picked
he
already.
has
They
been picked?
declared the team, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
Right. So like whoever is joining the majority, the major role would be to, don't give away easy runs to Steve Smith.
Hmm.
Just bowl at his stumps and let him make out his runs. And probably Bumrah and Ashwin will do the damage.
So, one of the pet theories which a lot of captains, a lot of commentators would talk about was, when it came to Steve Smith, as you talked about, the shuffle towards the off stump. And, so people would say bowl wider outside the off stump. Don't try to attack his stumps because that's where he scores his runs. But what somebody like Ashwin has done and what even Bumrah has done is they've, as you rightly said, and very, very nicely picked that out, they have packed the leg side field and they've said that, hey, we're going to bowl at your stumps, score the runs, and he has scored runs in the past there, but here, because of the field placement, he is unable to, and that is, I think, is unable to find a way out. But let's go ask Anuradha. Anuradha, what is your take on this? Do you think Steve Smith, the champion batsman that he will roar back into form? Do you expect him to do so, or do you think that Ashwin will continue to have a word on him?
I don't want him to do so, but I'm afraid he might. The thing is, this time for sure, like I said, India has to forget the last two matches. I think Australia will also forget the Melbourne match. Okay, and given that there's the team with the changes like in Warner's inclusion, Warner opening, so the team is different from the team that played the last two matches. So given that, they're coming back, they definitely come back with a vengeance. They will be, they would not want to, lose another Border Gavaskar tournament, the third one in a row. So I think, they will come back with something. And I don't, Steve Smith now has faced Ashwin and he understands how things work. And as Langer says, he's coaching himself. So I think he's coaching himself to prepare against Ashwin.
He has to, absolutely. Yeah. He recognizes the threat of Ashwin.
I think it won't be that easy. It won't be, what was its score? 1-1 and 8-0, right?
Yeah, 1-1-0.
That's not going to happen this time. If it happens, lucky India, but lucky, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think,
and even I think even Warner would play a pivotal role in tomorrow Smith's innings. If Warner gets going to the top, that will give him the cushion.
Absolutely, I think Warner plays a massive role. I mean, as you talked about talked about the mental impact that it has on Australia, right? And that it's just knowing that there is Warner at the top, just having that 40-50 run cushion. Although, you've had Wade giving them starts, but then Wade doesn't have the same impact because you've not seen Wade score those 150, 200. Yes. With Warner, if he gets to 50-60, he can very quickly move from 50 to 150. So that kind of impact, you're absolutely
right. And Smith is, after all, the ICC Test Player of the Decade. Of the decade.
No, that is Virat Kohli.
He's not. I think.
No. That was Virat Kohli. He did an impersonation of Virat Kohli, right?
Did he?
David Warner was not. It was Virat
Not
Kohli.
Warner, Smith.
Smith. No. I think Kohli was the player of the decade, right? ICC player of the decade.
I think it's Smith. Test player.
Smith is the test player of the decade, and Kohli is the male cricketer of
overall was Kohli. But anyway,
test.
Yeah,
has to be. Given that two bad performances, I don't think Smith is going to give us another.
Let's ask Kanishk what he thinks. I mean, Kanishk, you've worked in the video analysis industry. You've seen that industry very closely, so you know that there are no secrets these days. Bowlers know batsmen's secrets, batters also know what the bowlers are up to. So it's a matter of execution, right? It's a matter of execution. Smith knows what Ashwin is doing. Ashwin knows where to tie him up. So it's a matter of executing, and there's a lot of mental toughness that you bring What do you think will happen with Steve Smith?
Look, I mean, these are guys who are extremely tough mentally, right? And they know how to adapt. We can question their technique as much as we want, but they're extremely tough mentally, and that's what, in the end, makes them who they are.
Yeah.
We have gotten lucky once, twice, 4 times now, no doubt. But I think there's an expiry date to it. And look, by saying we have gotten lucky, in nowhere, I mean to disrespect our bowlers. I think they've done an absolutely fantastic job in trapping him every single time until now. But there's been a bit of a break, and there's been time for Smith to reflect on what he's been doing wrong and hopefully correct that. I'm guessing that it may not be a century or a or 150 that he would come up with, and hopefully not, but it'd be better than what he's been in the series so far. And I think rightly Anuradha and Sudeep, both of them mentioned that having Warner at the top, it's exactly what we were talking about Rohit Sharma, right? Impactful play will keep the opposition on their toes. And the moment a player like Warner gets like even 30 or 40 odd runs, it immediately gives Smith a lot of cushion, which he's not had until now.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a crucial factor. If we do get Warner early, then we'll be extremely attacking on Smith as well. But if there's Warner on the other end, then it'd be a completely different game for our bowlers.
Yeah, and also I think you talked about the pace attack, Indian pace attack, especially if we bowl first, which means that you have the pacers will be under pressure to exploit some early moisture in the wicket. I mean, whatever early moisture, if Sydney is going to present a slightly flat pitch, as Sudeep is suspecting, then it means that the moisture will be there for day one. Only day 2 onwards, it will start getting better for batting, and day 4, day 5, it's a traditional Sydney pitch, it will crack. So given that, there will be a lot of pressure on India, and we shouldn't forget that the first 2 test matches, in the first innings, you had Shami and Umesh along with Bumrah in the first match. In the second match, you still had Umesh bowling. So, and surprisingly this time, Umesh has not gone for runs, unlike his previous Aussie tours. And he's been tight at a role which Ishant Sharma was performing. So all these guys would keep a tight leash, very tight outside the off stump line, keeping the runs down. That kind of pressure is what brings wickets in test matches. And that is where, there will be some pressure on somebody like a Saini and a Siraj. Siraj still, I don't think was the second, he was not sharing the new ball with Bumrah, right? It was Umesh even in the second inning. So that is a big factor. You very, very rightly so.
Yeah, and just one of the points that I think Sudeep mentioned was to block Smith from making runs. Look, Pujara is comfortable with a mid-30 or late 30 strike rate. Players like Kohli or Smith or Rohit Sharma will never be comfortable with that, and I think that's what sets them apart, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we are able to do that, I think at some point he's bound to make a mistake.
Sure.